Siam, Wechka Siam Siaya, Chief Skuluts Nansna to Tseil-Taututh, Chief Yopa Nansna to Tseil-Taututh Squamish. What I said, my language is, I'm from the Tseil-Taututh Nation, which means people of the inlet. I acknowledge the spirit of the oneness that we all belong to, and I acknowledge the spirit of you and I. And I told you my name is Skaloos, and I'm a Sundance Ceremonial Chief. My English name is Rueben George. I think when anything comes up in my life spiritually, when I got my ceremonial pipe, when I became a ceremonial chief, when I got my ceremonial name, when I got the rights to pour sweat lodge, every time that I achieved one of these rites of passages, I went back to the basics as what I've been taught. For example, when we are born perfect. Perfect physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. We're untainted with no anger, no hate, no prejudice, no judgment, none of those negative things of greed that our society teaches us. And our teachings are about how to maintain that. And if we start later in life on our path of what we call the red road, the good road, if we start later in life, sometimes there is some healing that needs to happen. And what we have to do and how we have to be is diligent in our healing. And what it comes down to, when I say for myself, when I received spiritual gifts, I went back to the simplicity of our culture and our spirituality. And that's what we need to do when we start our healing. The simplistic teachings of what do we need to improve in our life physically? What do we need to improve in our life spiritually, mentally, and emotionally? And I think it's easy how our society is set up, that how we look at people that are disconnected. What's unacceptable in society is people who are using drugs, people who are using alcohol, and they're looked down upon. But that's one dysfunction of the dysfunctional society we live in today. A big part of dysfunction is people who are disconnected from their own spirit. At one end of the world, people are starving to death. They're hungry. They're hungry and they need food, and that's really sad. At the other end of the world, in North America, people's spirits are starving to death, and that's just as sad. That's just as sad. So there needs to be some nurturing and some healing. And the message that I have to, and I would like to give is for the future tomorrow, is be diligent. Be diligent. If you have a loving relationship with your parents or your siblings or your friends or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, if you have that loving relationship, there's always ways to improve it. Always physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, there's ways to improve it. And that's all also with our relationship with ourselves. That's also a relationship with nature. It's also in relationship to the things that we cherish that we call spiritual, like our feather. You know, this feather's been traveling, and I can see by how good shape that it is in, that you love it. You take care of it. You cherish it. You created an intimate, loving, and spiritual connection with this feather. Intimate, as you would with a human being. This has a spirit now because you took care of it that way. Most people might think it died because it's not on a breathing thing, but you gave it life and you gave it a spirit. So when you love it, and when you take care of it, and when you cherish it, when you need it, it's going to turn around and take care of you, of what this purpose of what it represents. The eagle feather, it cleanses us. It cleans us. If our heart is hurt, we bring the feather to it and we send it away. Let the eagle feather be a message of your wants and your needs in your life, to take the hurt from your heart and to send it away. Send it away and then replace it with blessings. The blessings of humanity, of love and honor and respect and dignity, pride, forgiveness, passion, compassion, understanding, truth, and wisdom. Those are the teachings of humanity, and that's how you should carry this feather. And apply those teachings of humanity to your wellness wheel of being a physical and a spiritual and a mental emotional being. Apply those fundamentals of who you are, of those four elements and those teachings of humanity, and apply it to this feather. when you do, and then when you're down and when you're hurting and you need some uplifting, the feather will do that for you. The feather will help you feel better. The feather will help you, give you blessings, and you can brush away that hurt and that pain and that negativity. And it's neat that you're traveling this around too, because this feather travels spiritually. It takes our messages from here, from this physical world, and sends them to the spiritual world. So this is a messenger. So I pray that good messages travel with this feather. Good messages travel, and good word go with this feather. That just like as the pool right here, you throw a pebble into the pool, and it'll ripple out and touch the surroundings around it. I pray this feather does its job, and I believe it will, because you treat it good. That when this pebble will be a mighty pebble that will be thrown in the ocean and ripple out to all the countries and all the people that need to hear it. And the messages that will come from this feather, the words that will come from the people that hold this feather, I also pray that those words will fall into the hearts of people who need it. The people who are suffering, the people who are hurting, the people who need those fundamentals of humanity applied to their being, of being physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. So thank you for the good work you're doing, Raho.